The Dental Brief is brought to you by Omni Premier Marketing and the amazing guests who bring wisdom and advice that you can put to use to take your business and practices to the next level. Find us on Facebook and join the conversation. Get ready to grow because we are kicking off the next episode in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Dental Brief. I'm so excited for today's program, doing another episode from the home, getting over this flu bug or whatever it was. Our guest today was really kind and postponed recording to let me get better to do this, so we appreciate that. Without any further ado, Tija Hunter, say hello to everyone.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for having me today. And I'm glad you feel better.
Yeah, I am. I'm glad I feel better too. Just staying out of the office a few more days to make sure I don't spread it to anyone else.
Yep.
So glad you're here. You're with the Dental Careers Institute, and we'll jump into that a little bit. But to warm up our audience, why don't you tell us, how'd you get involved in dentistry? How'd you get in this industry?
Well, it was a fluke. I didn't know what to go to school for, and I'm be completely transparent. I was a newly single mom, and I had my husband had left me, and I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I had a baby, and my marriage had fallen apart. My brief marriage had fallen apart, and I didn't know what to do. And it was like a social worker that said, there's a program that will help people like you go to school. And what do I got to lose? I have nothing else to do. So I don't remember. They gave me a bunch of testing. And I don't remember what the other 4 things were, but they said that there are 5 things that we will send you to school to be. And number 4 was a dental assistant. And I'd had a great dentist growing up. I had a great orthodontist. And I said, how about that? And looking back 42 years later, I think was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it's awesome to hear stories of how people end up at dentistry, kind of finds them. It seems that way, like through some circumstances, happenstance, which is always really interesting. So how'd you go from there to where you're at now? And I know you've got to cover 40 years, but condense that into a minute or two. How'd you go from A to Z where you're at now?
Well, I've always been very passionate about learning. And if I'm going to do this job, I'm going to do it the best I can. So for me, it was a matter of continuing education, being the best I could be. Missouri, where I practice at, has a lot of expanded functions for dental assistants. So I dove into that. I wanted to be a certified dental assistant. I dove into that. And I had at one point asked my boss, can we open a dental assisting school? And he was like, sure, why not? And from there, we opened 6 of them. And then I saw the need, when you get dental assistants together, I saw the need to teach nitrous oxide. So I got certified in Missouri, and then Kansas, and then Illinois, and then Oklahoma, and North Carolina, and on and on. And when you get those dental assistants together, they have a lot of questions. And they would ask me about infection control, and they would ask me about different stuff. And I had to be equipped to answer those things. So I really kind of dove into OSHA and infection control. And that's it. We offer now continuing education of all kinds, for team members, dentists, hygienists, assistants, a lot of continuing education we do. And I pride myself on, being an expert because people challenge me every day and they want to know, where do you get your information? Well, This is where I get it from. So I won't tell anybody anything I can't back up in writing for that reason.
Yeah, that's awesome. Appreciate that. Let's jump right into kind of the heart of today's message for our audience. What are the challenges? What are the problems that you're seeing practices, dentists, administrators facing today?
Yeah, well, the biggest, of course, is finding those team members, right? Finding help and hiring, for lack of a better term, warm bodies, because we need people.
Right.
And I've always been an advocate of hiring on attitude and personality and training on skill. And so, I believe that that's absolutely possible, just to find those good people and then bring them into your practice. That's so important. And then, dentistry is very universal, but every office does things a little bit differently. And so we want to be able to train them the way we run our practice and our culture. And so, there is a lot of specialty training in there, but uh main thing is finding those people. We've got to get them in the door. So we have to get people that are flexible, that have great customer service skills, because that's why people come to us, because of our customer service, not because they, heard we're the best dentist. They heard that Mary at the front desk is amazing and the assistant is
Sure.
amazing. And that's why. So it's getting the people in the door. And the second one is really just training them. They have to be trained. They're only so good, and we've got to get them trained. And so that's where people like me come in to get the team trained and doing things the right way.
Yeah. So with this big crunch now, and I'm having schools and having trained, I'm guessing hundreds, if not thousands, of dental assistants over the years, the demand is obviously high, like you'd mentioned, everybody knows. The cost is going up
Yeah.
significantly, right? And you have to be able to meet that cost, which means finding a place to lower cost in your practice,
Right.
or lowering your profitability, something along those lines.
Mhm.
What are some areas that you see that you can hire and keep amazing team members at competitive wages, meaning competitive for them,
Right.
right?
Right.
Which keeps them financially intrigued, which is a real thing,
Mhm.
but yet doesn't, or I should say, gives you the flexibility or a way to lower your costs somewhere else. Where's that
Well,
give and take?
overhead is a huge thing. Overhead is a huge thing. I remember walking in a lot of times in my boss's office, and he was looking at the pie chart, and the biggest piece of the pie was overhead, was, a lot of the salary that he was
Right,
paying out. And so there are lots of ways you can cut corners in your practice without, compromising your care, and without
right,
compromising infection control and OSHA. So it's important now. It's not just that salary, but people are looking for benefits. They need that health insurance, or, they need, a uniform allowance. They need vacation time. They need some PTO. So to me, it's not just about that hourly wage. It's about what
of course.
package can you get them. Some of our younger dental assistants don't get that. I didn't when I was a younger girl. What do I need that for? But it is important. And so, finding those ways to, what products are you using? I pride myself on anywhere from a 5 to 7% overhead in my practice. On supplies, there are so many ways you can cut that down, and your supply person, your sales rep, is there to help you. They succeed when
Right,
you do. So allow them to help you succeed. And maybe there are some products that you're not even aware of. There are so many out on the market. And maybe there are some products that you're not aware of that can do just as good a job as possibly this other one you've been using. Different things
sure.
like that. When I go into a practice and I help them get compliant in OSHA and infection control. And there are lots of ways I can help them save money. And they're like, I didn't even know I could do that. Absolutely. Without compromising infection control. So there are lots of ways. You just have to ask the experts to help you, and they will.
Right. Yeah, if I was a dental assistant
Mhm,
and I came to you and said, "Hey, I'm earning as much as anyone in my market,
mhm,
so I'm getting paid top end money right now.
mhm,
Um, you have confidence that I'm very good at my job, that I'm higher than average, much higher than above average
mhm.
than most. But my employer is just saying, hey, they don't have any room to pay me anymore. What advice would you give me as that person? What would you say? Would you say leave the industry, look for work? What are some ways that that dental assistant can get to where they need to be?
Well, I don't have that question a lot, thank goodness. I have a lot of people
Yeah,
saying, I want to move out of the operatory. Where do I go? But if you're truly, wanting to stay where you're at, you love your boss, you love your team, the grass isn't always greener. And
Right.
what else can you ask your boss to do? Can you get an extra week of PTO, vacation time? Is there something that is an incentive for you to keep doing what you're doing, and stay in the place that you love? Too many times, and we've seen it, especially in the last 2 years, that people move on thinking the grass is greener and they're absolutely miserable in what they're doing. So the first thing I would say is take a long, hard look and what are you happy with and what are you unhappy with. And sometimes we just have to say, gosh, let's go to our employer and say, I really love it here and I want to stay, but I'm having this issue and what can we do? It's not always, again,
Sure.
it's not always about the dollar, and I will have people tell me that over and over again. There have been surveys done to ask people, what's the most important thing to a dental team? What's the most important thing? Money has come in number three. Money's not even the first thing. So it's a lot of time. It's respect. It's people want a little respect. They want appreciation. They want thank you at the end of the day. So I want to ask you, before you leave a place that you absolutely love, what is it that will make it better for you? And to stop and look. Uh, Doctors are in a hard position right now. Team members, we have seen brand new team members come on board and want more than what we're paying team members who have been there 2 and 3 years. So they put us in a tough position. I totally understand that. So, looking for different benefit packages and ways to work with your employer. Don't always think that you can just leave and you're going to be happy because you're making more money, because you're
Right. Yeah, and I think on the flip side of that, if you're a dentist and you lose an employee who's been great, who's been with you for a long
not.
time, and they're leaving because the grass is greener somewhere else,
Mhm.
which we know means it's actually usually never greener,
Right.
right? So what that term actually means, probably might be in your best interest to be really kind to them on their way out the door. You may be frustrated, you may be angry, you may be hurt, scared, all of those things, and you may want to, say, hey, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Probably not the way to handle that, because it could be 2, 3 weeks later where they say, hey, I made a mistake, I want to come back, and they're a loyal employee for the next
Yeah,
five
and
years,
we
right?
have
You've seen
seen
that
that. I
situation.
have personally had
Yeah.
people contact me and say that I am so sorry I did what I did. So,
Yeah.
it's people that are in bad situations that are happy, but they're not always like that. They just think, oh, more money is going to make me happy. Not
Yeah.
always.
With your awesome experience in this industry and knowing so many people, and obviously, you don't have a crystal ball. If you have one, you haven't told me about it, and I will
I
talk about that
wish.
out after the show. What do you think is going to happen? If you could predict in the next 1 to 5 years, what do you think is going to see? What are we going to see happen between assistants and dentists and practices? What's that dynamic going to look like?
I think that it's going to calm down. I think that we are going to find those good team members, and everything's going to kind of level out before, it was with COVID. I think that hopefully, there are many of us that preach appreciation. And so I hope that, doctors and office managers are seeing that and, being more grateful for the teams that they have and for the people that have stayed with them for any length of times. But I really think that this career, this whole shortage is going to level out. We're going to have some good team
Sure.
members. We're even seeing our schools closing because people are hiring and they're training them on the job. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're seeing a lot of schools close. But I honestly believe that it's going to level out and that we're going to have, our positions are going to be filled. I think we're already starting to see a lot of that, but it's going to take a lot longer to get there.
Yeah, I think I think I agree with you on that. Let's talk a little bit about Dental Careers Institute. And the website is dentalcareersinstitute.net. Tell us what kind of services, real quickly, you offer and how you help dentists there.
Well, we offer a lot of continuing education. We are AGD PACE certified to give CE credits. So nitrous oxide, in several states, and we teach coronal polishing in some states, sealants, and not only that, but someone will call me and they'll have an entire new team, and they'll say, I need my assistants. I got 3 new assistants, and I need you to teach them radiology. We don't have the time to do that. They're working dental offices. So I will go in and we will teach radiology, we will teach anything that they need. And then of
Right.
course infection control, we do yearly team trainings on infection control, OSHA and HIPAA. And I'm leaving tomorrow to go to a team, and I'll be teaching medical office emergencies and opioids. So, about anything you can think of that needs to be taught in a dental office, we can provide it for you.
Yeah, awesome. I want to encourage our audience to check it out,
Yeah.
dentalcareersinstitute.net. Tija Hunter, thank you so much for spending the time with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I know you don't feel your best, so thank you for doing this.
Glad to be here. Thanks so much, Tia.
You have a great day. Bye.